So this might be a first on Let's Get Physical Media. Mr. Dieter Bastian, all the way in Saarbrücken, Deutschland, has seen something before we poor souls here in America have. Dieter, give us the tea. Spill the tea. What is it? How is it? What'd you think?
I spill the tea. What I think, Rob, I use a quote that you used for Scream, familiarity that doesn't suck. I had a great time. Really enjoyed it. A lot of laughs. It's totally in the vein of the other movies. That means some of the CGI effects are a little bit wonky. It's actually the longest of all Final Destination movies. And I give that away. You don't need to stay at the end. When the credits roll, there is no scene after the credits. So there's no after credits.
So we're not getting a Final Destination universe.
And I need to ask you, Rob, what scene did they show at CinemaCon? Was it the beginning with the sky view?
The vending machine and the MRI machine.
Okay. The MRI machine. Okay, Rob. I know what you have seen.
So you got to so tell us. We have to know about the Rube Goldbergian kills. I mean, let's face it. When you go to a slasher movie, you want to know how the kills are.
We always talk about creative kills. We want to see creative kills, and especially the Final Destination franchise is especially for the kills known that they are presenting. I couldn't make heads or tails of the poster artwork, but now that I've seen it, I know what this here in the middle actually represents.
It's the Space Needle.
Because the setup, but I didn't detect it at first, Rob. So you always have that great setup at the beginning, where a lot of people are actually getting killed, and this was already bonkers or a banger, as you would say. And the kills were really nicely done, and you're always trying to figure out, they always have to build the tension. The new one is more about family specific, so the characters, like you said, don't actually really go for the characters, but it was really nicely done. There was an explosion which came with a great bass response, probably the best I've heard this year. And for me, if you're a fan of the Final Destination movies, this is a must-go, But if you're not into the franchise, this will do nothing for you. But for me, the kills were great, but I don't want to give anything away. But the setup was great. And Rob, as the trivia champion that you are, do you remember all of the first 5 setups for the movies?
No. I mean, I remember it's overshadowed by the trees and the highway. That's to me.
We had the plane crash in the first. We had the highway sequence in the second.
Yeah.
The roller coaster was the third, when the roller coaster came off. The fourth was the racetrack. And the fifth one, Rob, I don't even remember myself. And this afternoon, because I wasn't the Final Destination mood, I went back to Final Destination 5 in 3D. And as far as I remember, it was actually shot in 3D. And I totally forgot the setup. This was the bridge collapse.
Right.
The fifth one. They had the great bridge collapse, which was also really nicely done. But it came off a little bit. It had a pretty weak climax or showdown. But it picked up at the end when we did find out that the fifth one is actually a prequel to the first. So the ending was really great in the fifth one. But the between the kills were a little bit, I say, you know that you don't like that word, but a little boring. But I still had fun with the fifth one. But the new one is a little bit, I would say, ups the ante. I think the opening setup, like you said, with the Space Needle, it could be the best. Even if the fifth one with the bridge was great, I need to see the others again with the racetrack, with the roller coaster. But here, the setup was, it was a really long setup. But the stuff that happens, Rob, and of course, it was the last time we see Tony Todd in a movie.
Yes.
So for me, this could be actually perhaps a nice sleeper hit, because I was under the impression, considering the Final Destination franchise, like you, I did go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I just wanted to see how the franchise did over the years, because I was under the impression that the last one, because we waited 14 years for a new one, but no franchise ever dies, no IP, they always come back, let it lie dormant for a little while and then bring it back. But even the last one was actually not a flop. None of the movies were actually flop. The first one did almost five times the budget. The second, 3 times its budget. The third, let me just make it quick, head count, almost 4 times the budget. The fourth one, actually the shortest one, was the most successful because there was the 3D craze in it, 4.5 its budget. And the last one did almost 4 times its budget too. So the really profitable franchise, especially when you go back to the first one, Rob, I always remember the good old DVD days from New Line Cinema. The Platinum, shiny, Rob. It was shiny.
So Dieter, I think everybody out there in YouTube land wants to know, if you had to rate Final Destination Bloodlines within the franchise, where does it rank?
I would need to refresh myself with the others, Rob, because I think just from the CGI, even if it's a little bit wonky, they are certainly better than the first ones, because this was at the beginning where they used digital effects for some of the stuff. So I need to refresh my memory with the other one, but it's certainly better than the fifth.
Come on, you can do better. You can do better than that. You've got to like. Come on, it's been 14 years. There's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be their first Final Destination movie. Would you give this a recommend? Would you say it's going to be a great time at the movie theaters?
Yeah, totally recommendation for me. Great time at the movies. If you're a fan, especially of that franchise, when you want to see creative kills, as Rob has said, the stuff with the MRI machine was a great one. But there are other stuff in it too that was really, really nicely done. And the setup with the Space Needle is actually damn good, Rob. Because I'm afraid of heights, and can look out there and it was okay. Can we get down from here as fast as possible?
Well, the interesting thing is they put glass floors in the Space Needle.
Not for me, Rob. I'm not going up there with glass floors. Not for me.
Well, you don't have to go to the glass. But that was a change they made. I mean, it's my hometown. I love to see Seattle represent, even if something bad happens in the Space Needle. I mean, all the way back to the movie The Parallax View, which has something happening on the Space Needle, and that was the early 70s. Space Needle does not get enough love, cinematic love. So overall, Dieter, what are your final thoughts on
an 8 out of 10 for me for Final Destination? And the good thing, Rob, before I forgot, you don't need to see any of the other movies to have to be caught up with the other ones. You don't need to have to see any of the other movies to enjoy the new one. That's always a big plus. There's little references to the others, but you don't need to see one of the others to go in to the new one to have a good time. And I'm really looking forward to how the movie will be doing.